Well, we went digging through our fishing. What do you call the rod? Right, the fishing rod. Right, we threw it. We cast our net deep sea, and we managed to pull him out of where he's hidden. He doesn't like to show his face so much, but today we said no. We are changing the narrative, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome into the studio Meekah Jagun. Yes. Your catalog of productions is so impressive. And one thing I like about artists is that they always keep the big names themselves. They don't like to share it with anybody.
Yeah, that's right.
Until they get in there, they know who to work with. They don't want to tell anybody about this. But I'm sure you have an amazing journey of how you got into this film, music. Is it limited to music videos or is film?
No, it's film in general. It's because it's been a short journey so far. It's been action-packed, but it's been short. Yeah. So, we'll do the films. We're going into the films after that. Yeah, it's been really short, actually.
Wait. When you say it's been a short journey, how recent did you get involved in this business?
The first time I ever picked up a camera, that was 2021. So.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, so
what are you saying, bro? Like, yo. What were you doing before
Definitely
that?
a story.
Yeah, I was just finishing uni. I was probably going to go into like real estate or something. Like, I was just going to do something else.
I like the real estate.
Yeah. But my friend was throwing away a camera. My best friend's name is Timmy. He was throwing away a camera, and I happened to be at his place. I don't say what I was doing at his place, but I happened to be at his place. I spent the night there, and the next morning, he was like, he's throwing his camera away. He's been using it for his business, but he doesn't think he wants it anymore. He wants to change cameras. It's like, do I want it? Honestly, if I wasn't there, he wouldn't have asked me if I wanted it. But it was really just because I was there, because there's no reason for him to believe that I was
right
creative.
place, right time.
Exactly. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take the camera from you. But I don't know what devil entered me that I was like, but I'll pay you for it. I can't just take it for free. I don't know what happened.
You're a good friend, man.
Yeah, but it almost backfired. It almost backfired, Jason, because for the next week or two, I didn't see my best friend again. And you know how best friends are, like they'll be there when something bad happens, but in some moments you just won't see them. I couldn't reach this guy for like 2 weeks, and then eventually I had to leave. I wasn't even in Ghana at that point. I had traveled to Nigeria, so I was traveling back to Ghana, and literally the day before I was supposed to come back, my mom was throwing an event at the house, and it's my best friend. He has to come now. You can't run away with that camera again. So I think he didn't want to give it again. And then he had to come to the house, gave me the camera. And then, 2021, February or January, one of those, yeah.
No knowledge of any editing software.
Nah, nothing.
Probably just CapCut if it existed.
No. Wow. You gave me CapCut, I'll give it back to you. Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. I didn't know.
And 4.5 years later, Blacko, Kiddy, King Promise, Stone Boy. Let's continue the list now.
Tiwa Savage, Mr. Easy, Chrissy Arthur. I know I'm forgetting people. Yeah, I don't forget them.
Wow. What was the spark?
The camera, man. The camera. I think there's some things that happen in your life that like there's a before and after. Not just in skill, but in terms of determination, like just locking in general. I think there's a different, like, no, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do pretty much anything. Like, this is, when you find like a passion and a purpose. Yeah. That's what it is.
From the list of these people that you have
and
mentioned.
more that haven't been mentioned.
And more that you seem to be forgetting. Who did it start with? So maybe you started with Mr. Easy and then someone saw your work and it went to somebody else.
I think the first video we ever shot, because at first I used to direct with someone else. Her name is Six, an amazing director. And I think the first video we ever shot was a video for Tania, I think.
Okay.
Dark Twisted Fantasy. But honestly, at the start, we're kind of feeling upwards. We weren't really, at least in my mind's eye, everyone else thought it was good, but I just thought like this is basic. And then it was kind of word of mouth. But honestly, like I said, I was really lucky in meeting the right people. I met someone called Andy Magite. I'm sure you guys know him.
Andy.
Unbelievable filmmaker, right? Him and Six, they played a huge part in the early parts of like putting me in opportunities and giving me opportunities and seeing something that honestly I hadn't seen yet. And it kept happening like that, where people would see something where I'm like, are you sure that should do?
To first understand the use of the camera, it might have been deliberate and intentional on watching YouTube videos or being around people who were supposed to teach you how to use this. Understanding color, light, sound, and all those things may have stemmed from you used to draw back in primary school or university or something. I mean, there should
I love that you mentioned. I mean, there is a component of locking in, it's also, I'm sure everyone that's doing this here, Lenny, Serial, Jay, everyone here, you start doing something later in life, and then at some point you kind of look back and you realize like, oh, okay, there were signs.
Yeah.
You know.
So what were some of these signs? Yeah.
I mean, when I was young, I used to act on stage.
Okay.
But this was when I was like a child, like 8, 9, 7. I would if my aunt is doing like a party, I would hold an imaginary mic.
Steal the show.
So, there's always been those embers, but they were dead for so long that it's like, it took a while after I was even doing it to realize, oh yeah, like when I was younger, all I used to do was just make up stories. I thought everyone just did that. I didn't know, And when I started too, because when you start, I don't know if this happens to you guys too. If you start something, when you're learning something, the benefit about class is you can compare yourself with other people. So you know when you're learning something really fast.
Alone.
Yeah, well, I was learning alone. So I didn't know that I was learning the thing fast.
How is family and everyone's response to this? Because like you said, locking yourself in a room, and I'm sure in your head, right, there was a conscious effort to like do this for the rest of your life. But with situations like this, that moment.
Yeah.
So
everyone else playing catch up.
Right.
Feels like you've had some experience with this.
How was that for you? And how did you respond to that as well?
I'm stubborn, I'll lie to you. So the responding to that, this is what I'm going to do. I have to give the people in my family and my life just a lot of credit. Because they just accepted it, but not, I'm sure, begrudgingly. But there's a certain level of delusion that you'll just have, that you'll just see things through a certain lens. So
you need to focus on that.
Yeah, and when they were probably begrudgingly accepting it, I probably thought this is, very nice approval that they're giving.
But were there any moments where you felt like you were being left back? Because you spoke about comparison in your space where you're learning and your friends are doing other things. But like you said, you're morphing. These are moments you're dealing with yourself. Did that ever come, or were you like...
Honestly, the moments of being left back were before I actually started. Because at that juncture, other people, my peers, were doing things, So I'd say that's actually before them. But at that point, once I got the camera, I wasn't really comparing myself. In fact, I say I'm probably comparing myself more to people now than at the start. It was just like...
At what point did the camera change?
Did it change?
Yes.
How do you mean?
Because you're getting your jobs, your work is, getting recognized. At what point did you realize that?
Yeah, I gotta switch it up. You
had to level up.
Yeah, no. It was part of it was a friend of mine. I'll take these pictures and he would be like, "Bro, these feel like films. Like these feel like you should do videos." So a lot of people just kept telling me like you should do videos, and I had a friend, his name was Leslie too. He was a videographer and he used to do these sick videos. So I was like, let me actually try my hand. But really, 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 actually, Lenny, you're taking me back here. So you guys remember King Promise Slow Down?
Yeah.
Amazing video. Amazing video, and Imagite shot that. And I remember Six was the assistant director for that, right? And she was going to the set. And she essentially just forced me to come. She forced me to come. And I went there and I was seeing the production happening. I was seeing the lights. I was seeing how everyone was just answering to this one guy. And he was making all the decisions, but it was all thoughtful decisions that would help the end product. And I thought to myself, like, oh, I can do this. Yeah, I didn't have any reason to believe that at that point in time.
Just like that.
But I was looking at it and I was like, oh, this is what I like to do. I want to do this. And then from then on, it's kind of been laser focused on, okay, I want to make films. Like, I actually love the process of making films and making videos even more than I love videos themselves.
So who became the first Ghanaian artist that you had to work on under your direction?
Me alone. I'd say...
Or you led?
Oh, actually, so what happened is I directed this video for someone called Awule. He hasn't blown up yet. Because you can't say he didn't blow up. Life is still happening. He hasn't blown up yet. He was someone I went to uni with. He was a friend. I was in Legon, and he was someone I went to uni with, and he saw that I'd started stuff, and he was like, "Bro, your stuff is dope. Like, come direct my stuff." At that point, he didn't know that I hadn't helmed anything by myself. He also didn't know how long I'd been doing it too. Again, I didn't tell anyone. So we did the video, and actually what happened was a snowballing effect from there, because he was actually in the Kill Beats camp He was in the Legacy Live camp.
Okay.
And Awule is the kind of person, you shoot something for you, do something for you, can show everyone. He's just, there's people like that where this which, and I think he showed it to Kill Beats, showed it to Promise, he showed it to R2Bs, showed it to Gomi. Everyone was Gomi. He showed it to a lot of people. And then that had also its own cascading and rolling effect where I think by the end of that year, I think we shot the Ebosso video for R2Bs. Yeah, so I guess that's one of the people I'd forgotten. But yeah, so that's, I guess, one of the videos I kind of, that's probably the one actually for the question you're asking earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question.
Right. How was that experience?
Yeah. Okay.
Join the R2Bs.
Yeah.
So you have R2Bs here. They are like, okay, we've got this expert, seasoned videographer, with 15 years experience, about to blow our mind. We saw what you did. Seasoned. Let's go. And you're there like.
That's actually the exact reaction. Yeah. Honestly, they were very patient with us. They were very patient, and everyone kept saying like, your president is not usually like this. But he just really believed, man. At that point, I didn't even know he'd seen the Awule video. It was so that was its own experience. It was actually a year or two later. We're supposed to work on a project with R2Bs. So they wanted me to creative direct a project that they were going to release. And that's when I was like, but what's the reason you actually want us to work with this? And that's when he told me back to that video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he told me that since then, he'd been rocking with us. So at that juncture, I didn't know. So in hindsight, that's why I was so patient with us. It was a fun experience. It was at that point the biggest budget that I'd also ever worked with. A dirty secret about the budgets, I won't lie to you, until maybe last year, that's when I was like, okay, let me see some money from this. I won't lie to you. At the beginning, we would get a big budget and go over budget. I won't lie to you. Like, it was just all about
the content. Yeah.
What's the best image we can get? What's the best thing for this art? Because it's like, sure, it's not your video at the end of the day. You're providing a service. The thing is, though, directing is one of those things. You get all the credits. You also, if someone messes up the styling, they say, who directed this rubbish?
Yeah.
If someone messes up the art direction, they say, who directed this rubbish?
It's all you.
If
it's all come back to you.
If the actor doesn't do right, they'll say, okay, the actor messed up. But it's like that. So it's something called the Hope Machine, right? Like, I was listening to the interview you guys had last week with Stoneboy's Hype Man.
Oh, yeah.
OG. And I remember you were saying 2 years, you didn't get paid.
Yeah.
Right, but he was saying also 2 years he didn't get paid. But the business we're in it's essentially the Hope Machine, right? It's the only business you can do that.
Yeah.
Where for years you don't earn anything. You endure. You endure. And those are the parts that people don't see, right? They see the end product, but they don't see when it's just balls to the wall and people aren't actually believing that this thing is going to actually pan out. In fact, if you described it to someone else, they'll say they're taking advantage of you.
They'll crush that hope.
Yeah, they'll say they're taking advantage of you. You're not getting it right. So just recently though, we just
every director, every artist, every producer has this one artist that working with is just a vibe. It's so easy to connect with. Do you find yourself in such cases, and who would that be? That you don't even need to think twice. When you get the music, coming from this person, it's easy to work with. You sink into it. The ideas flow. It could be one or two of them.
Honestly, someone that's just really, really easy to work with, that you end up wanting to go the extra mile for. Actually, I don't think he knows this. Is Kitty. I'm sure he knows he's easy to work with. I don't think he knows that's how I feel about him. Yeah, Kitty is actually very, very, very easy to work with. Super cool guy, and it's funny too. So, and his manager too, Sniper too, cool guy. So we're all just having a laugh. And then the ideas, they're pretty open-minded too. Yeah. They're open-minded. Promise is easy to work with in his own way.
Okay.
Yeah, in his own way. Promise, I'm out of few words actually. So I'll send him this. So my treatments are very specific. Very, very detailed. Like I can send you a treatment like 30 pages, right?
Oh, what?
Oh, that's even a short one.
Says the person who started 2021. I can't wait for it. Right. A 60-page treatment in 2028.
10 years in when you have the glasses down.
Get 200 pages.
Yeah, wow. In fact, now that you guys reacted like that, it makes sense why some people take time to get. I sent one to Easy this morning, 25 pages. I was like, this is short. But then,
so let's go back. Now you mentioned Kiddie.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the him and Blacko on the set with one of the biggest songs that has happened, in the past. It was in last year, right?
In the past, yeah.
When you hear such songs, how much, or what was your art direction? What was the idea behind this? We may have seen what you were trying to tell. Yes, on the ring stage, the two of them on there, Kiddie messing up the room. Because I asked him questions about that room and what triggered him, what angered him to mess up the room. But let's hear from the horse's own mouth on what you were trying to establish.
I'm trying to establish many things. Honestly, they didn't ask me to shoot that video.
Okay.
Yeah. To even start from the beginning, no one asked me for a treatment for that video, actually. In fact, I think Sniper specifically didn't want me to shoot that video. But not because he's not a friend or he doesn't like me. We'd worked on a project with them beforehand where I produced it. Okay. And it didn't go well. It didn't go well. Someone else directed and it didn't go well. And so they had a negative...
Yeah, there was a little.
Yeah. So I remember the song came out. The song was teased to be coming out, and I was like, "This is a banger." So I messaged Sniper. I was like, "Bro, bro, send me this song, and I'll send you a treatment for it." He said, "Ah." That's what he said. He's like, "Ah." Yeah, what? I didn't say anything. I said, "Man, I don't think Sniper wants me to shoot this video." I said, "No, I don't care, bro. Let's do a treatment for it." So I did a treatment for it, and then I sent it to him. I was like, "Bro, I know you didn't ask me for a treatment. I really like you and Kiddie, and I really want to shoot this video." At this point, Continental was in now.
You reached out?
Yeah, I reached out, and he curved me twice, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know why I was doing it. When I was doing the treatment, I was thinking this is like a waste of time, honestly.
So, for you to reach out, why that song? Why that collaboration? Why that project? What struck you? What idea? For
he
him,
got to break stuff, throw things around. I think my table is one of the things he even threw around. My table from my house. I was like, said action. He did it. I said, "Are you sure?"
Because you reversed it, right? You reversed the action.
Yeah, it's all reversed.
What was the story on that?
So from the start, it was okay. How do we express? Okay, you do me lomo, like you're kind of making me go a bit crazy. It's kind of almost like juju is happening here, right? So it's okay. How do we express a situation where the girl is there, but she's not really there? So he's missing someone. Is what it is at the beginning. So you're missing someone so much that it almost feels like they're in the room with you. So that's what that opening scene is. And then we kind of progress through the video. Blacko, his is straightforward. It's a Bonnie and Clyde type situation. Then I felt like that fits his aesthetic more than the regular love story that if we see Blacko just in a bed with a girl, it won't fit it in the way, at least where his brand is right now. I just felt like it wouldn't align.
I think we've hardly seen Blacko in a music video with a girl. Has there been any video such?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Yeah,
not yet.
I mean, what would also make you turn on a project? Because I'm sure finances and budgets, come into play. So let's say somebody comes to you and they have the biggest budget, right? And I'm sure also not every song you've directed is a song you necessarily like, but work is work.
Yeah.
So I want to know from your point of view, does it have to be organic? Is it the content of the song? Like, what are some of the things that make you say, nah, you have the budget, but I don't feel it. I don't want to work at this point.
Yeah, Jason, amazing question. I don't lie to you, it depends, or sometimes if I'm broke, I don't lie to you, No, I'm half joking. Mostly you want it to be organic. You want to know that this also fits the message that you're trying to send, the image quality that you'd like, and also there's a certain aesthetic too. As directors, you come in because you have a voice. There's something you want to see. And if you feel like it can fit within that world, then I'm more keen to go for it. But if the pockets are lacking in that moment, I'll lie to you. Suddenly my voice is a bit more lenient.
That makes sense.
Let's talk about okay, sorry, Lenny, go ahead.
Because you mentioned sending treatments that are several pages,
Too
right?
long,
what happens when the artist or his team reject that treatment? Do you go back or do you try to convince them to also see it from your point of view?
Honestly, Lenny, I won't lie to you. And this will even sound a bit arrogant. I've just been lucky in that mostly people have just accepted the ideas. I think we had to change something for one treatment earlier on this year. And honestly, I can say since I started directing them, that's the first time that's ever happened. It wasn't even change the concept. It was, hey, can we change this scene here. So usually, in fact, the idea is too big, and then now we have to kind of scale it down. Because of budget. So I'm probably not the best person to ask. I'm sure that's not the average experience. So I'm probably not the best person to ask. Like, I'm not giving you a good answer there.
Talking about, scaling things down. I mean, you literally had to scale up the size of King Promise sitting in the Paris, the Paris video, right? I had to scale him up. Working, before I come to King Promise. Let's talk about you and Tiwa. Yes. Now, I mean, arguably, she's one of the, the hottest, most, buzzing female artists.
A legend, honestly.
Coming out from Africa, as well in this day and age. How did that come about? The collaboration, the choice, the selection, because I mean, it takes a lot for, I'm sure, her team, considering her level, to decide to want to work with someone who just started the career 4 years ago. But definitely, you were putting in some work.
No, that's a great point. That's one of those moments that happens before you expect it to happen. It was honestly, it was two major players. There was Small God and Imagite again. Okay. So what happened there was Small God wanted to shoot this video. He had this record with Tiwa Savage and Kwesi Arthur, actually, and he brought them into Ghana, and they wanted to do a shoot. And Andy was like, "Hey, do you guys want to do this shoot?" So Andy ended up producing it, and then we directed it. So yeah, it was a learning process, because that was the first time I'd say, like, honestly, because I was so new too, I hadn't really even been around like superstars or so that was the first time actually being around someone that I'd be like, oh, this person's like a galaxy. Like, they come in with like so many people. The call time is the call time is so time, and that's a suggestion. It's not
massive entourage.
Yeah, massive entourage. The call time is a suggestion and a bunch of other things. And I was like, wow. And then she came in, the nicest person, the easiest to work with. And then you understand that at that juncture, she's easy to work with, not because, she's this easy person that just lets everything go, but it's easy to work with because she understands that there's an end vision here. There's an end goal here. There's things that's been planned for here. And aligning with that is what's going to get the best product here. Because sometimes some of the things that makes things tough on the set is you have an idea. And the artist agreed with the idea. And then you guys come on set and it's like, yeah, but can we change this? Because you do so much planning for one thing. Like, for instance, some of the ideas I have, we can set up the lights and plan for like 4 hours just to shoot for 30 minutes.
I was just going to ask some of the crazy experiences you had where, production challenges. I know they are very generic. Yeah. I know they are normal, but the ones that you faced that altered the complete idea from the mood board to what it came out, what we are seeing, the forgotten stories, the hidden ones.
Yeah, so it's a very, very good question. Honestly, the traumas, you try and forget them fast. I think one of the ones that almost happened. So you see the hot air balloon in Continental?
Hey. Yes, oh God. So that was help with that visual, please.
Yeah, so the hot air balloon in Continental, I remember.
The hot air balloon in Continental video. Okay.
Yeah, so we were speaking, King Promise Continental. We were speaking to, when I pitched it, the Sony people had loved it. The people at Sony, because he signed with 5K Records, the Sony affiliate, and they loved it. I remember they were messaging me about the hot air balloon when they would see like reels from other countries. So excited for the Continental video, because that's how they sound, right? And everyone was excited, and we were literally supposed to shoot the night before. And I have this and I have this rule that I tell people that I'll lie to you, before a shoot, especially if it's a big shoot, one big mess up must happen. I can't swear, like, all right?
To kind of self-teach.
Honestly, serial, YouTube and failure. I failed many times though. Yeah. I failed many times. Yes, like YouTube and failure. Yeah. I also just have my memory is horrible, so that's probably why the failures don't get to me that much. Because soon I'll remember the lessons, but I'll forget it happened. But yeah, YouTube and failure, because failed many times. But honestly, one of the best things that happened, and I think any director, any kind of filmmaker needs to be able to do, is to be able to edit. Because the knowledge of how it goes on, like everyone here that knows how it goes on in that control room, it ups your skill level by so much. So that's honestly, I think, another thing that just take it to another level. Honestly, I'm just around the right people, man. Because I'll lie to you, if I started off and I met the wrong people at the start, because I was such a blank slate, if I met the wrong people at the start, could have been discouraged, but also I could have met someone whose tastes would have taken me in a completely wrong direction. I could have, some of my early mentors could have been people that maybe they're just going to stand in front of this wall and dance. Yeah. And there's a time and place for that. If that's what you deem as the pinnacle of art, that's, if someone's under you as a mentee, they're going to get, what's it called? They're going to be influenced by that. And I got lucky that I met people that had really high tastes and really high standards. So, you know, at the start, it wasn't just the lowest possible denominator kind of video is what's going to excel. It has to be amazing for it to be like, oh, wow, yeah, this is cool. And also being able to go to that kind of set from the start, slow down, it let me know, like, yeah, most of this thing is set up. Like, there's a reason it's going to take this amount of time to execute. I'm sorry, Jay, I think you're about to ask
So you have artists that bring, you know, what do you say? Repeated business, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they keep coming back because they love your works. You do create a sense of direction in the stories you want to tell around them. What stories do you want to tell, or when it comes to someone like Stonebwoy, what stories do you want to tell around him when you want to engage, put his music? Kim Promise, Blacko, all the artists you work with. Can we just understand some of the stories that you like to put around them?
That's a great question. It's usually because everyone has where they are at their current brand identity.
Yes.
And everyone's is different. Like we were saying about Blacko earlier on, the Bonnie and Clyde scene fits him more than Promise. If you see him in bed with a girl, that's part of his thing, right? For instance, Promise's juncture last year, he was going extremely international, and it was time to go for spectacle. Because a lot of his videos had been more grounded. So we wanted to go for more spectacle because it was true to self, and also that's the name was true to self, also, okay, how do we show him as an international artist where he's in Ghana, being Ghanaian, and still being an international artist. So that's then specific to Promise in that way. For instance, Blacko, now they say you've never seen him with a girl. If we wanted to then do some other videos like a love video, who knows, maybe that's where his brand identity is going. And then one of the main things you want to do if you're doing business, you have to ask a lot of questions. You have to ask a lot of questions, and then with questions you'll know where this person is at in their brand story and their arc as a person. How do they see themselves? Not how you see them. How do they see themselves? And then you go from there.
Mind some of these questions you ask them to try and get into their mindsets.
So you
favorite colors?
I sometimes actually ask favorite colors because colors have emotions. So sometimes you can ask favorite color. You also want to ask them. You can ask a question like an amazing question to always ask people. In fact, on your next date, guys, I think you should.
Okay.
Jesus question.
That will go to just Jason and I.
On your next date, what?
Okay, so your next date, you can also ask this question too. You can ask, you know, if there's any movie character or TV character of all time, which one do you see yourself as and why? Right. Jason, you know the girls really like Jason, so you help you know which one.
I'm writing that down. Okay, exactly. Jason, which movie character do
I like?
You see yourself as
Batman, Bruce Wayne, billionaire, playboy.
And you know what's perfect about that? I don't think anyone else here would have guessed Bruce Wayne. And that's not because, or Batman, and that's not because you're not like him. It's because people here don't know the story that you tell yourself about who you are.
Oh, that's deep.
Exactly. So then you're able to express who you see yourself as, not who, I just met you, bro. I'm not saying you like someone else, I just met you.
Jason Bruce Wayne. That sounds good, cool.
Jason Todd was
honestly, if you even ask your family members this question, it's an amazing one. Say Jason Todd, was Robin.
He was,
there was this this character who was arrested by the police in Togo and Ghana. What's the guy's name again? May 19. Let me check. His name is his name is Mohammed Janjo, aka Adina Akbo Abdul Mujibu. You don't want to be him. Already, you know you're seeing yourself.
There's
like when I see you, I see Adina Abdul Mujibu.
I know
he's been involved in some high-profile robberies.
No, be me.
There's something I've been thinking about in pushing boundaries, right? Have you ever been skeptical about pushing certain boundaries? Because there's people who've pushed those boundaries that you want to push. So when I see Kim Promise's video, I'm like, oh, that's fly, that's dope. that reminds me of like Cardi B and French Montana. They have a video where like they're huge and all these things. I'm sure you have certain ideas that you want to bring out, but maybe budget, maybe equipment, maybe exploring. You feel like, nah, not now, because people are not going to understand it.
Would he say now for people to know?
Yeah. Are you at that point, or have you been at that point?
Oh, no, 100% I have. 100% I have. If I was really doing what was in my heart and soul, the videos would be much, much weirder. Yeah, the videos would be much, much weirder. But we have to... I think one of the things, too, where... I tell people I feel like I'm 4 years old. I don't feel like I'm however age old I am. I can't tell you my age because if I want to, I might start doing music and I need a football age. So I won't tell you guys. Well, I feel like I'm 4 or 5 years old because of when I just started, right? So what that then does is I feel like I'm able to see creativity and the creative business or the creative and its, accoutrement a bit more clearly than someone who's been a creative from when they were a child.
Yeah.
Because they're more idealistic about things. It's almost like you meet someone that's creative since they were a child and they love it. It's art, it's this and that. They're passionate about it. They're not realistic about it. And sometimes too, so what that's done for me is I'm able to look at things and be like, you know what, this is a cool idea, but it's not time for it yet.
Does it hurt though?
Oh, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I almost swore there even. It breaks my heart. So it's not time for it, or people aren't going to get it, or this isn't the budget level for it too, And then also, I also know because of our sensibilities in Ghana too sometimes, we don't want things to be too weird immediately.
Yeah.
Get us there gradually, So I was like, okay, let me... keep pushing it gradually in a way where you can tell that you're being pushed, but not so much that you're just like, I don't even understand what's happening.
So based on what Jason is asking, in the world of film, I mean, we find ourselves in diverse industries. What are some of the feedbacks that you get from some of the productions you've done? Like, are people overly disconnected because they don't understand? Or are they warming up into it that, okay, we saw the video, when you go to the YouTube comments and you're reading, what are they saying?
Honestly, it's been amazing support. In fact, it's been so positive that I'm like, maybe I'm not being daring enough. Honestly, I feel like I need to offend some people a bit. It's been amazing, and it's also been a warm support. Like I see tweets of people being like, "Who's this Meekah Jagun guy? Like we need to push this guy some more." Like these kind of things. Like where has he popped up from is also one that you hear a lot. So it's actually been a lot of positivity. So honestly, maybe I'm not even giving the public enough credit.
Has there been any body of work that you've had to watch when it's done and then you've had to say that, wow, I didn't see it like this even in the production stage? Any body of work that has blown your mind?
In the moment, like just after finishing it, no. Just after finishing it, no. But it's like a year later.
Okay.
Then you watch it random, you're like, wow, these guys knew what they were doing. It's like a year later where you look back and you're like, because at that point I've forgotten really what even happened in the video, and I watch it almost like a spectator for the first time. I remember before I got into creativity, Kanye used to say this thing where we just thought it was arrogance, where he's like, one of his life's greatest regrets is he'll never be able to watch himself actually, I think, perform live or hear himself his music for the first time, like someone else. I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, this is just arrogant rubbish. And then I started, doing art, and I'm like, wow, that actually would be dope, because there's a wall between me and the beauty of the art, because I've lived with it. In fact, I think for most of these songs, the only person that's listened to this song more than me is probably the artist.
Right.
In fact, it's possible I've listened to it more than him, because that's the only thing for a week plus, from morning till night. I'm pretty obsessive that I'll be listening to. So I didn't remember the question. I just started talking. I apologize.
I was asking if there was anybody of work of yours that blew your mind.
Yeah, so Continental was one of them where in the moment I was like, sorry, I didn't, like everyone was going crazy about it, and I was like, it's okay. And then later on this year, around the TGMAs, they put it up on screen, and I was like,
okay,
this is crazy.
So are you the artist who is, quote unquote, making space to do what pleases the musicians, or are you in a space where you're just open to whatever creative direction the song pushes?
100% what the song pushes, because I mean, songs are spiritual entities, man. And I know it sounds weird. It's just what creativity is. Songs
I agree.
Songs are spiritual entities, and they're also subjective. So they'll tell you what they want you to hear or what they want you to see, and you have to kind of just follow that connective tissue. If you're lying to yourself, you'll know you're lying to yourself when you're putting the words on the page. I think some people are luckier than others that their tastes are the kind that a mass audience is going to love. Call it luck, call it research, those kind of things. But definitely what the song is asking, 1000%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have 2 quick questions.
Please.
First of all,
Yes, sir.
are you, as a director, mad or not happy about the fact that we see more visualizers than videos? Because now, I mean, budgets and quickness of content and availability. Now all these things come into play. So, okay, that first. What do you think about the fact that you get so many visualizers now?
Honestly, I think it makes sense that there's more visualizers than videos. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of directors that won't be happy about that. But I think it makes sense from the perspective of you just have to follow the money. You have to follow the money, and there's only a certain kind of artist that when they actually drop a video, it can do the kind of numbers that they want it to do, and also that can have the kind of impact on their brand identity like they want it to do. Because other places in the world still watch TV, so it still has that impact there, and then on YouTube too. But it makes sense, man, with the speed that you need it at, and also there's so many options. Back in the day, like TV, radio, that was it. But then right now, everyone's competing with TikTok, everyone's competing with Instagram, everyone's competing. So you have to convince people to leave this slot machine that they already have, that they're enjoying a great time,
every second.
Every 30 seconds, sometimes 15, sometimes 10. Like, this is heaven for some people. They don't do anything else. So for you to convince them to leave that, to go to another app, to sit down and lock in for like 3 minutes for an artist that they kind of like, it also does make when things pop off even more rewarding now. Because like in the sea of like quick content and things like that, your thing stands out as something that people are like, oh yeah, this is something that a lot of people can relate, or there's effort in this.
Okay, last one quickly. Are you impressed by what you're seeing from this landscape? I mean, you can't speak for other directors and other creators, but as someone who's pushing the boundaries, because I really believe you are, like, you're really trying to push the boundaries, man. Are you impressed? Are we getting there? If yes, how fast?
I think we're getting there, man. I think there's so many creative people in Ghana, like an unbelievable amount of creative people in Ghana. And I think one of the things that's really important is putting the people that when they execute on a piece of work, it actually moves the creative scene forward. I think sometimes the people that get the opportunities and the people that can actually move a scene forward with the kind of art that they would execute on don't always get those opportunities.
It's not aligned.
It's not always aligned. So even right now, we're in the process of even trying to sign some directors too, and actually put them on those opportunities too, so that they can be able to execute and also move the creative scene forward. So I think sometimes they're just not aligned.
Well, that's nice.
That's nice. Directors signing directors, right?
They're pushing the time in my ears now. Continental video, 1.2 million views and counting.
And TGMA nomination. I also want to call out all the TGMA people, not the TGMA awards themselves. Don't worry, we're not going to get controversial. Don't invite me next year. No, I want to call out all the celebrities. Because when people go on stage and then they'll say, wow, I had no idea that I was going to win. I didn't prepare a speech. It's a lie.
Wait, they knew?
No, they didn't know they would win. But they definitely prepare yourself in front of the mirror, like they planned the speech.
You planned the speech.
Even me, I planned the speech, but I just don't win. And I was going to be honest when I got there on the stage and just be like, I don't lie to you, I've forgotten the speech. But I planned.
Very important. Congratulations.
I'm so humble.
Meekah, well done. You've done an amazing job. This all time was spent allow us to be on air today. But I mean, this is good. But what are your projects or new ones coming up that we should expect?
I have something with this like really good artist that came from Nigeria, Majik, Shode, and Kamido. That's coming out, I think, tomorrow.
Okay.
I think Majik was
coming out tomorrow.
Magic
was here on the show a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
He mentioned.
I have something that I can't say. But when they're out, I'll message Devs to message you.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll see it. It's 3 Music TV. I mean, you'll have to see
Okay.
that.
Okay, all right.
I'll be annoying you. I'll be annoying you a bit this year. But we just dropped something with Mr. Easy that we shot in Lagos. This was last week. That's its own madness to even. I don't even know. We don't have the time to get to that. But yeah. So that's
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Meekah, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
We know you hardly speak anywhere, but you just on this platform. This is documented in our our stuff. We're definitely going to be
It's very nice space. The AC too is cooling.
Yeah, it's good for music. Good for music videos. We would love to play parts in there. So in case you need
studio getting props, yeah.
In case you need people to talk in your music videos, we are here. This is our job.
Yeah, no, I can
If you did a money show inset.
Money show inside your video. We are
looking
here.
at this space, I don't think I can afford you guys before my music.
Oh, we'll look at
ask
it.
me what I
Next time.
We'll look at it. We'll look at it.
Oh, look at the budget.
Your man is in the streets. He's been hearing things.
Yeah, he's hearing things. Meekah, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lenny.
Yeah, truly appreciate it. Well, this interview plays back tonight at 10 p.m. on 3 Music TV, so you might want to watch it as well. But it's also going to be on our YouTube channel in the next couple of hours. Meekah, again, thank you forever, right? We'll see you tomorrow. Great start to a week. The tone, like Susan, has been set, so watch out for more conversations here on the Big Convo right here on Culture Daily. And peace, we out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Culture Daily was brought to you by Telecel.